Hey, you!
Stop! You violated the law.
Have you ever heard of a little place called Tacos Goku? If not, what the hell have you been doing these past few years? We all know Dragon Ball is a franchise which has grown to have an incredibly passionate and dedicated group of followers. Whether you talk about Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Heroes, even Chrono Trigger, and now Dragon Ball Daima, we have fans all over the world eagerly waiting for the new Dragon Ball content to drop. But there is one group of Dragon Ball fans which are just completely over the top, obsessed with the franchise to biblical proportions. I am of course talking about our amigos, the Mexican Dragon Ball fans. You have probably seen the unfathomable amounts of Dragon Ball memes that are either referencing the Spanish-speaking community or are just straight up in Spanish. But why did Dragon Ball become so immensely popular, specifically in Latin America? There are a couple of reasons for this that have actually been documented. The first one is that Americans and a lot of Europe got the show much later than Latin America did. Countries like Mexico had the show airing all the way back in 1992, whereas it only really started airing in America during 1996, for example, a whole 4 years later. When American kids were watching Goku fighting Raditz, Latin American kids were watching Ultimate Gohan square off against Subaru. Just imagine talking to your Mexican friend and hearing Gohan becomes the main character and faces off against the strongest foe yet. That would have certainly been a mindfuck and a half to me. But there was also the fact that Mexico and Latin America in general were not new to anime airing on TV. Dragon Ball was already a known format, and this definitely aided in it really catching on fast among the audience. The themes of fighting, violence, and facing adversity also really catered well towards the Latin American audience. And before long, the entire nation was smitten with the adventures of Goku and his friends. Now, an entire nation becoming fascinated with a specific piece of media is not entirely unheard of, but Mexico and Latin America really, and Dragon Ball is probably the biggest use case of this phenomenon to either look at or talk about. Back then, when Dragon Ball was airing over there at 5 PM, no one was doing schoolwork, no one was cooking, no one was working, all of them were tuning in to watch Dragon Ball Z. Damn man, I kinda wish I had been around back then to experience the show that way, but no, I just had to be born in 98, right? And then there is Joe Coppo's Dragon Ball X on YouTube.com, which is just the ultimate brain rot fanfiction featuring legendary fighters like Gohan Blanco, Gohan Calvo, El Hermano, El Grande Padre, Shaggy Blanco, Grandma Goku, Ed, Ed and Eddie, Shrek, and much more. The sheer amount of wacky-ass fanfics this community has given us is 100% worth its weight in tacos. I am secretly a huge sucker for horribly crazy fanfics just designed to make no sense whatsoever, except be incredibly funny. But it's not just the anime that was super big in Latin America. The sheer amount of fan-made decorations in shops and bootleg merchandise throughout the community is absolutely insane. I'm sure you've seen these just ridiculous looking figures and paintings and whatever. Like, I kinda wish I just had a store near me that just sold all this just horrible bootleg merch, because for some reason I would just buy it. Like, take Tacos Goku for example. You just know the tacos you eat there are going to be the best damn tacos you will ever eat anywhere, period. The shit you take after that is also destined to be just immaculate. I'm sure plenty of you have also seen that clip of people at the barber just watching Dragon Ball Z instead of actually getting their hair done. When Dragon Ball Z comes up, or anything Dragon Ball related is discussed, there's no time for work in Mexico, man. And I goddamn well respect that shit. But what is really the most impressive thing about the Latin American fandom is that they have kept this spirit up until even right now. If you remember the ending of Dragon Ball Super, the epic final clash between Frieza, 17 and Goku fighting against Jiren for the victory of the Tournament of Power, everyone was tuned into that fight from the comfort of their own homes. But not Mexico, man. Mexico live streamed that entire fight on a public plaza so people could watch it out in the open. hundreds and hundreds of people gathered to witness this fight in real time, and god fucking damn it, I wish I was a part of that. I'm genuinely jealous that my country is like the reverse of Mexico when it comes to anime and Dragon Ball specifically. There are barely any anime related events here at all, but it is what it is, right? I can't really force that to exist within my country. I just really want to shout out all of the Mexican and Latin American fans and just homies who keep Dragon Ball alive through their insane and sheer dedication and loyalty to this show. This was a bit of a shorter video than usual, but I just really wanted to talk about the biggest Dragon Ball fandom out there. To see one of my favorite franchises so ingrained in a community's culture is just incredibly nice to see. So be sure to let me know what Dragon Ball means to you guys. How did it affect your life? How did you first get into it? Tell me all about it in the comments down below. But with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching today's videos. I truly do appreciate every single viewer that just takes the time out of their busy day to watch my content, because I'm sure you have a million better things to do. It just makes me happy to know that the content I make is actually being watched, right? I think every content creator makes their content with the purpose of it actually being watched. So if you would like to see more of my content in the future, please consider clicking the subscribe button and turning on all notifications for my channel. I would also really appreciate it if you would consider liking the video and leaving a comment with your thoughts down below. Work hard, study well, and eat and sleep plenty, and I will see you all again in the next video. Peace out.